Dominican University Library, where we have the section called the archive. An archive is an accumulation of historical records and materials where it's kept for reading and for research. It can be dated back in the ancient Chinese times, Roman times, and the Greek times, and also in the 7th and the 3rd millennium BC.
There are many types of archival repository all over the world, and most of them fall in the following categories. We have international archives, we have national archives, we have university and college archives, we have church archives, business archives, and others. And you might be wondering to know who uses archives. Archives are open for usage for students, businessmen and women, television programs, researchers, journalists, and other persons.
As we all know that everything has its own characteristic, so do archives. And some of the characteristics of archives are: first, authenticity, which means that the material should be able to communicate what it claims to be. Secondly, reliability, which implies that the material should be reliable, give a kind of concrete information to its user. The third one is integrity, which means there shouldn't be anything like fallacy in the material gotten from the archives. The fourth one, which is the last one but not the least, is usability, which means that the archive should be situated in a place whereby it will be easily accessible to those in need of it.
Yes, we are talking about the types of materials that can be found in archives. Archives usually hold materials of unique importance and rare objects. Examples are photographs, books, artifacts, and manuscripts.
Access of an archive. Well, different libraries have their own different method of accessing an archive. For the Dominican Library, how to access their archive is just to go and meet the librarian, ask the person for the book you're looking for in an archive, or the information on the topic you're looking for in archive, and then the person tells you, and then you get it. But majorly, most libraries don't let people take out books from the archive out of the library for preservation's sake, because some of the books here are quite very old, and any little damage can destroy a lot. Some even don't even allow them to touch it with their hands. Some wear gloves while using it. So it depends on the library, but the first procedure of every library is to ask the librarian, and they'll put it through.
Cool. So, one of the peculiar advantages of an archive I would like to point out right now is the fact that an archive is very easy to get first-hand information, and also an archive can be used to track historical records. Talking about the disadvantages, an archive is very expensive in terms of finance and time. It takes a lot of time to get materials from different areas that they are available.
Some of the major challenges in record keeping are lack of adequate risk management against disaster and fire, lack of finance and adequate storage facilities, limited human resources in managing number of records.
As we all know, the Dominican University Library also houses the archive. Now, the Dominican University Archive can be dated back to 1993, where the province started. Some of the materials that can be found in the Dominican University Archive include newspaper publications dating back to the early 1960s, which can be found in the Syria section, the Bible, the Quran, and other important documents in their original languages, or the visual materials, amongst others. Challenges we've been able to detect in the Dominican University Archive include lack of adequate storage space, lack of adequate materials such as photographs, artifacts, mineral resources, and the rest of them. Also, there's lack of maintenance, and also no proper sensitization to students on the presence and importance of the archive. As a group, we recommend that the Dominican University Archive should be erected in a separate structure, and also more materials should be put in place there.
And also, proper maintenance should be carried out on the materials to keep them in good condition.
It will also be important for measures to be put in place to preserve the lifespan of the materials in the archive.
Adequate sensitization and awareness should be done.
Precautionary measures should be taken as to curb things like fire outbreak.